On UK Flix, we bring you stories that feel larger than life, yet close to the heart. Today's exposé dives into the emotional journey of a young couple whose love story has captured attention far beyond their circle. It begins with secret dates, whispered promises, and the thrill of first love. But as the chapters unfold, the stakes rise, unexpected news, family dynamics, and life-changing gifts set the stage for a wedding unlike any other. This isn't just about romance, it's about transformation, responsibility, and the courage to embrace the future. With cinematic detail and raw emotion, we'll walk through every twist and turn, from the first spark to the moment vows are exchanged. And at the end, we'll leave you with a question that lingers, pulling you deeper into the story. Welcome to UK Flix, where drama meets truth and every ending is just the beginning. The story starts in the peaceful parts of being a teenager, where friendship progressively turns into something more. Alex, our main character, was always the kind of youngster who brought laughter with him. He was easygoing, interested, and quietly hopeful. Allie, on the other hand, was deep and beautiful, and her smile seemed to brighten even the dullest days. They had crossed paths many times, but it wasn't until one late-night study session that the spark really flew. There were notebooks all over the room, people whispering jokes, and a quiet that spoke more than words. Alex saw that Allie leaned in closer when she laughed, and that her gaze stayed on him for a moment longer than normal. Something changed in that pause, that unsaid bond. From then on, they met more often, sometimes for group tasks and other times just because they couldn't stay away from each other. They told each other secrets, dreams, and talked for hours into the night. For Alex, every second was a new experience. For Allie, it was a reminder that love could be both exciting and calm, but there was a thrill in keeping their young love a secret. Not yet were they ready to tell the world about their friendship. Instead, they constructed private rooms where laughing echoed and vows were made. These secret meetings were the start of their relationship, a safe place where they could be themselves without being judged. Alex learned that love wasn't just about big gestures during these times, it was also about having someone who really saw you there all the time. And for Allie, it was important to find a spouse who loved her not because she was flawless, but because she was real. The air was already thick with excitement, even though their voyage had only begun. What started as a spark was swiftly turning into a blaze that would eventually light the way for them to go places they never thought they would. As Alex and Allie's relationship grew stronger, they started to keep secrets from each other. What started off as innocent study sessions quickly turned into secret meetings hidden from the prying eyes of friends and family. They picked a quiet room at the outskirts of campus as their hideaway. It felt like it was solely for them. The walls echoed with quiet laughing, and the soft light of a solitary lamp made shadows that felt like friends to their developing love. It was a ritual to meet up. Alex would be the first to come, and he would make minor changes to the area that spoke a lot, like moving an extra chair close, playing a playlist softly in the background, or leaving a notepad open with doodling that showed how excited he was. Allie would come in with a smile that made all of the day's troubles go away. Her presence made the room feel like a whole new planet. They talked about more than just small things here. They shared their hopes and fears for the future and made vows that felt both weak and strong. Every moment was exciting because they were writing a story that no one else could read. They painted the room with stolen looks and the warmth of hands clasped for just a little too long. But there was a strain underneath the warmth of these meetings. They realized that keeping things secret couldn't last forever. The world outside their safe space was waiting, eager to ask questions, pass judgment, and maybe even test the bond they were building. But Alex and Allie thought the risk was worth it. Every secret gathering was a sign of their dedication, a subtle act of revolt against the norm. Alex first understood how deeply he felt in this room. He knew that love wasn't about being flawless, it was about being there. He saw Allie laugh at his bad jokes, and her eyes soften when he talked about his fears. The room meant trust to Allie since it was a safe place for her to be vulnerable, knowing that Alex would always be there to catch her. Their secret rendezvous were more than just romantic get-togethers. They were the start of a future that neither of them had completely foreseen. The room contained their origins, and soon it would see the moment that changed everything. Would you like me to keep going with Chapter 3, Whispers of Commitment? Preserving the same emotional and cinematic tone? the secret meetings had become more than fleeting escapes. They were now the heartbeat of Alex and Allie's relationship. Each time they closed the door to their hidden room, the world outside seemed to fade, leaving only the two of them and the unspoken promises that hung in the air. It was during one of these evenings, with rain tapping gently against the window, that the whispers of commitment first surfaced. Alex, restless yet determined, leaned forward with a seriousness Allie hadn't seen before. His voice carried a weight that made her pause. "I don't want this to be just moments stolen from the world," he confessed. "I want us to build something real, something lasting." The words lingered, heavy with meaning, and Allie felt her heart race. She had always sensed the depth of his feelings, but hearing them aloud transformed their bond into something undeniable. Allie's response was not immediate. She sat quietly, absorbing the gravity of his confession. Then, with a soft smile, she reached for his hand. "I've been waiting for you to say that," she whispered. In that instant, the room seemed to glow brighter, as if the universe itself had acknowledged their vow. From then on, their conversations shifted. No longer were they just about dreams or playful banter. They became about futures intertwined. They spoke of shared responsibilities, of facing challenges together, of the courage it would take to stand before the world and declare their love openly. Each word was a thread, weaving a tapestry of commitment that grew stronger with every passing day. Yet, with commitment came the awareness of risk. They knew that stepping into the light meant exposing themselves to scrutiny, to questions, and perhaps even to disapproval. But Alex and Allie were ready. Their whispers of commitment were not fragile, they were resilient, born from trust, and nurtured by the sanctuary they had built together. The rain outside eventually ceased, but the promise made that evening endured. It was no longer about secrecy, it was about preparing for the journey ahead. Their love had matured from sparks and hidden laughter into a flame steady enough to guide them through whatever awaited. And so, the whispers of commitment became the cornerstone of their story, a quiet yet powerful declaration that the future was theirs to claim. Life has a way of turning whispers into thunder, and for Alex and Allie, the shift came suddenly. Their secret meetings had blossomed into promises of commitment, but neither of them expected the news that would arrive one quiet afternoon. Allie had been feeling different, subtle changes that she couldn't ignore. At first, she brushed them aside, attributing her restlessness to long nights and the emotional intensity of their relationship. But as days passed, the signs grew stronger. With trembling hands, she finally sought clarity, and the result was undeniable. She was expecting. The moment she shared the news with Alex, the room that had once been their sanctuary seemed to pulse with new energy. Alex's eyes widened, his breath caught between disbelief and awe. "We're going to be parents?" he whispered, the words almost too heavy to carry. Allie nodded, her smile fragile yet radiant, and in that instant their world shifted forever. The unexpected news was both a blessing and a challenge. For Alex, it meant stepping into a role he had only imagined in fleeting daydreams. For Allie, it was the realization that love had now grown into responsibility, into a future that demanded courage and resilience. Together they sat in silence, absorbing the magnitude of what lay ahead. Yet, beneath the initial shock, there was joy. The thought of a child, of a new life born from their bond, filled them with a sense of purpose. Their whispers of commitment had now transformed into vows of protection, promises to nurture, and dreams of building a family. Still, the path forward was uncertain. How would their families react? Would the world outside their sanctuary embrace their journey, or would it challenge them with doubt and criticism? These questions lingered, casting shadows over their newfound joy. But Alex and Allie knew one truth: they were in this together. The unexpected news became the turning point of their story. It was no longer about secret rooms or whispered promises. It was about facing reality with courage. Their love had given them a gift they hadn't planned for, but one they were determined to cherish. News travels fast, even when whispered in secrecy. For Alex and Allie, the revelation of their unexpected journey into parenthood was not something they could keep hidden for long. The moment they decided to share the truth with their families, the atmosphere shifted from quiet anticipation to a storm of emotions. Amber, Alex's mother, was the first to hear. Her reaction was layered. Shock mingled with concern, quickly followed by a protective instinct. She had always envisioned a steady path for her son, one marked by careful steps and measured decisions. Yet here he was, standing before her with a future that had arrived sooner than expected. "Are you ready for this?" she asked, her voice trembling between worry and love. Alex's answer was simple, but firm. "We'll make it work." Allie's family, too, had their share of doubts. Questions poured in about responsibility, about timing, about whether the young couple truly understood the weight of what lay ahead. The living room became a stage for conflicting emotions: pride, fear, hope, and hesitation all colliding in a single evening. But beneath the tension, there was an undeniable truth. Both families recognized the depth of Alex and Allie's bond. They saw the way their eyes met, the way their hands intertwined even in moments of uncertainty. It was clear that this was not a fleeting romance. It was a partnership forged in trust and strengthened by the unexpected. Still, acceptance did not come easily. There were heated discussions, moments of silence, and tears shed in private. Parents wrestled with the idea of their children stepping into adulthood faster than they had imagined. Siblings whispered their own opinions, some supportive, others skeptical. The household air was thick with questions that had no easy answers. Yet, through it all, Alex and Allie stood united. Their resilience became their greatest argument, their unwavering commitment the proof that they were ready to face whatever challenges arose. Slowly, the storm began to settle. Concern gave way to cautious support, and doubt softened into reluctant encouragement. Family reactions and tensions became the crucible in which their love was tested. It was not an easy chapter, but it was a necessary one. For in the fire of doubt, their bond emerged stronger, ready to carry them into the next stage of their journey. With the family slowly coming to terms with the unexpected news, Alex and Allie found themselves standing at the threshold of a new reality. Parenthood was no longer a distant dream. It was a rapidly approaching chapter that demanded preparation, courage, and unwavering unity. The first step was practical. Together, they began to transform their lives, reshaping routines and priorities around the arrival of their child. Late-night conversations shifted from playful banter to discussions about baby names, nursery colors, and the kind of parents they aspired to be. Their secret room, once a sanctuary of whispered promises, now became a planning ground filled with lists, sketches, and hopeful ideas. Alex, determined to prove his readiness, threw himself into research. He devoured books on fatherhood, watched tutorials, and even sought advice from friends who had already walked the path. Allie, meanwhile, balanced her excitement with quiet reflection. She knew the journey ahead would test her strength, but she also felt a growing confidence in their bond. Together, they were building not just a family, but a foundation of resilience. The preparations extended beyond the couple. Amber, despite her initial shock, began offering guidance. She shared stories of her own experiences, reminding Alex that parenthood was as much about patience as it was about love. Allie's family, too, contributed, bringing advice, support, and the occasional gentle reminder that no one truly feels ready until the moment arrives. Yet, beneath the practical steps lay a deeper transformation. Parenthood was reshaping their identities, turning youthful lovers into partners bound by responsibility. Alex found himself imagining the future in vivid detail, holding his child for the first time, teaching lessons and creating memories that would last a lifetime. Allie, too, envisioned the warmth of family dinners, the laughter of a child filling their home, and the quiet joy of watching Alex embrace fatherhood. Preparing for parenthood was not without its challenges. There were moments of doubt, nights filled with questions, and days when the weight of responsibility felt overwhelming. But each obstacle became a reminder of their strength. Together, they were learning that love was not just about passion, it was about endurance, sacrifice, and the courage to face the unknown. And so, as the days moved forward, Alex and Allie embraced the journey with open hearts. Parenthood was no longer a distant horizon. It was a reality they were ready to meet, hand in hand. The unexpected news of parenthood had reshaped Alex and Allie's world, But love has a way of finding celebration even in the midst of responsibility. For Alex, the realization that he was about to become a father only deepened his desire to make their bond official. He wanted more than whispered promises. He wanted a vow that the world could witness. It was a crisp evening when Alex decided to propose. He had spent days planning, searching for the right words, the right moment, and the perfect symbol of his devotion. Their secret room, once the cradle of hidden laughter, was transformed into a stage of romance. Candles flickered against the walls, casting a glow that mirrored the warmth in his heart. Allie entered unsuspecting, her eyes widening at the sight. Before she could speak, Alex dropped to one knee, his voice steady yet trembling with emotion. "We've built dreams in secret, faced challenges together, and now we're preparing for the greatest journey of our lives. I want us to face it as husband and wife. Will you marry me?" Tears welled in Allie's eyes as she nodded, her voice breaking with joy. "Yes, Alex, 1,000 times yes." The room erupted in laughter, in relief, in the kind of happiness that only comes when love finds its perfect moment. From that day forward, wedding plans became the heartbeat of their lives. Families who had once wrestled with doubt now rallied around the couple, offering support and excitement. Amber, Alex's mother, threw herself into preparations, determined to give her son and future daughter-in-law a celebration worthy of their journey. Allie's family contributed with traditions, recipes, and blessings, weaving together a tapestry of unity. The date was set, March 12th. Invitations were whispered across circles of friends and relatives, each carrying the promise of a day filled with joy. The anticipation grew with every passing week, as Alex and Allie balanced the preparations for both a wedding and the arrival of their child. The proposal had been the spark, but the wedding plans became the flame that carried them forward. Their love was no longer hidden. It was celebrated, embraced, and ready to be declared before the world. As the wedding plans moved forward, a new chapter began that would change Alex and Allie's lives forever. Amber, Alex's mother, had seen her son grow from a boy who laughed to a man who was ready to become a father and get married. Even if the road had been unexpected, she saw how strong his love for Allie was, and how committed he was to her. So, she chose to offer them a gift that would show how much she cared about them and how much she believed in their future. It was exposed on a calm Sunday afternoon. Alex and Allie were invited to Amber's house, but they didn't know what was going to happen. Amber gave Alex a tiny package when they were sitting together. There was a note inside that said, "For your new beginning," along with a set of keys. Alex looked up in confusion and saw Amber smiling through her tears. She whispered softly, "It's yours. A place to build your family." They had never thought the house would be this nice. It was worth almost $900,000 and showed how much Amber believed in their journey. It was more than simply a building with walls and windows. It was a warm, big space full of possibilities. It was a place where laughter would resound, milestones would be celebrated, and their kid would take her first steps. Allie was so happy that she started to cry. She muttered, "This is more than a gift. It's a future." Alex, too, couldn't say anything. His heart was full with both humility and determination. He realized that being so generous came with a duty, and he promised himself that he would keep the faith his mother had placed in him. The house stood for togetherness. Families who had earlier been unsure now came together in its rooms to eat, laugh, and talk about the wedding that was coming up. It was a place where differences faded, love was cherished, and the promise of tomorrow felt real. Amber's gift wasn't just money, it was also emotional. It was her way of expressing, "I trust you. I trust your love, and I believe in the family you are going to make." For Alex and Allie, it was a dream come true, a base on which they could build the life they had only talked about in private places before. There was a sense of fate on March 12th. Alex and Allie were finally ready to tell the world that they loved each other. It was the day that had seemed like a far-off fantasy. The morning started with a tranquil sense of expectancy, like the calm before the storm of happiness. Families were busy getting ready, friends were excited to see each other, and the air was thick with the promise of something amazing. The place was decorated in a classy way. There were white drapes hanging from the ceiling, flowers blooming in every corner, and beautiful music playing in the background. This made for a ceremony that would be remembered for years to come. People came dressed to the nines, and their faces lit up with excitement. Every grin and hug was full of support and the joy of celebrating together. Alex stood at the altar, his heart racing with excitement and nerves. His outfit seemed to reflect how he had changed from a teenager who murmured promises in secret rooms to a guy ready to become a father and get married. Allie came in a few minutes later, looking beautiful in her dress. Her steps were graceful but full of feeling. Everyone in the room was watching the couple, whose journey had been everything but normal. The vows were modest but deep. Alex swore to always be there for Allie, to love her joy, and to keep their family safe. Allie promised to love Alex not just when things were good, but also when things were hard. She promised to strengthen their link and face the future together. Their words were more than promises. They were promises made through hard times, made stronger by resilience, and made clearer by love. When the officiant said they were husband and wife, the crowd applauded. The celebration started with tears, laughing, and a lot of noise. The dance floor was a canvas of ecstasy, with music in the air and tables full of food. Families who had formerly been unsure hugged each other, happy for the newlyweds. The wedding day was more than just a ceremony. It was the end of a long journey. It changed hidden whispers into public vows, and young love into a lasting commitment. For Alex and Allie, this was the moment their tale became more than just theirs. It became a legacy that everyone who saw it would share. Alex and Allie moved on to the next chapter of their lives, just as the sounds of celebration from their wedding day were starting to fade. With Amber's amazing gift, the new house, the couple stood at the door of a future that felt both unreal and well-deserved. The house wasn't just bricks and mortar. It was a sign of trust, faith, and love that had been passed down from one generation to the next. When Alex turned the key for the first time, he felt a rush of duty. This wasn't just a place to dwell, it was the base on which their family would grow. As Allie walked through the big rooms, she pictured laughter bouncing off the walls, the sweet screams of their newborn baby filling the air, and the warmth of eating together at the dining table. They started to turn the house into a home together. The first room they touched was the nursery, which was painted in soft colors that made them feel hopeful and kind. The crib was near the window to let in the early light. The rocking chair was in the right place for late-night comfort, and the books on the shelves were waiting to be read aloud. The living room became a place where family and friends could get together to tell stories and celebrate important events. The kitchen, which smelled like Allie's cooking, became the center of the home, where memories were made and traditions were started. Each corner showed their path, mixing the dreams of youth with the responsibilities of adulthood. The house was a new start for them, though, beyond just the outward change. It was where Alex and Allie learned how to reconcile love with duty, joy with struggle, and being their own person with being part of a team. Parenthood was just around the corner, and the thought of their baby girl coming made every moment more exciting. Amber's gift had not only given them a place to stay, but it had also given them a blank canvas on which to write their future. For Alex, it was a reminder of how much his mother had always been there for him. Allie saw it as confirmation that their love was accepted by everyone, not only each other, but also by their family. Alex and Allie knew that this was more than the end of a narrative as they stood together in the doorway and watched the sunset turn their new house golden. It was the start of a legacy based on love, strength, and the hope of a better tomorrow. And so, the journey of Alex and Allie comes full circle. From secret rooms and whispered promises to vows exchanged beneath the glow of celebration, and finally, a new home where their future begins. Their story is more than romance. It is a testament to resilience, to the courage of embracing responsibility, and to the power of love that grows stronger through every challenge. But as one chapter closes, another begins. Parenthood awaits, with joys and trials yet unseen. Their wedding day may have marked a union, but the true test lies in the everyday moments that will shape their legacy. Now, we turn the question to you, our UK Flix audience. What defines the strength of a relationship? Grand gestures or quiet sacrifices? Can love truly withstand the weight of responsibility? And most importantly, what does happily ever after mean in today's world? The answers perhaps lie within your own stories. More update. 7 little Johnstons, Alex Johnston and girlfriend Allie Smith, take major step in their relationship. Alex shares major life update with GF Allie. Hits major milestone. And Amber and Trent Johnston's daughter dating married man. Fans blast Alex for ruining Emma's special moment. I will explain everything. Jonah Johnston, Alex's older brother, asked him what he got Allie for Christmas. Alex said, "I got her favorite perfume set and a promise ring." Jonah then said that he didn't give his girlfriend Ashley Petherick a promise ring, even though he had been dating her for as long as his sister Liz Johnston had been dating Bryce Bolden. Ashley wants the real thing, Jonah added. Alex talked to his sister Emma Johnston about the promise ring on the December 16th broadcast of 7LJ. "I was there when Alex got the promise ring," she informed the producers. "I helped him because I know what Allie's style is now. And I know she wanted something basic and not too showy." Sadly, it looked like Emma might have given Allie a hint that her gift was something important when she asked to be on a video conference with them when she opened it. Allie has been on 7 Little Johnstons for a few seasons now, and she and Alex are trying to make their long-distance romance work. She lives on a farm in Ohio. And Alex went to see her work in the field in season 16. In other news about Johnston relationships, Liz and Bryce got married in November. Their 2-year-old daughter Layton was the flower girl. Anna Johnston, the oldest daughter of Amber and Trent Johnston, also recently showed off her new lover on social media. There are so many exciting things occurring in the Johnston family right now when it comes to dating and marriage. Who do you think will be the next to get married? Alex shares, major life update with GF Allie. Hits major milestone. Alex and Allie just told their fans how happy they are. The first one made a big announcement with his girlfriend. The star of 7 Little Johnstons is looking forward to a new start. Alex and Allie had been dating for a long time. They have been dating from a distance. The reality TV stars stayed together against all the odds over the years. Allie has been very close to the Johnston family. She and Emma are quite close, and they routinely show off their friendship online. Alex is the youngest person in the family. He has been concentrating on his schoolwork and turning his hobby into a tiny business. So, people wanted to know if Alex and Allie will get married soon. What did Alex tell his fans? What are he and Allie doing? The LPA conference was when Alex Johnston and Allie Smith began their trip. The first one raised a lot of eyebrows because he was rude in the first years. They thought he didn't deserve Allie and never treated her with respect. Fans of 7 Little Johnstons were not happy when Alex posted pictures of his custom button. He was selling buttons that said, "Alex and Allie Fan Club." Fans thought he was too weird because he acted like a toddler. Later, people saw the reality TV star hosting Allie's live session. He was in charge of all the comments during her live session on TikTok. Fans told Alex he was too clingy and that he was a huge red flag. A lot of them also criticized him for being overly dominating in his relationship. They weren't sure if they would truly make it. Alex Johnston and Allie Smith have been dating for a long time. People are really angry with the first person for how he acted. He doesn't hold back when it comes to telling his lady love how he feels about her, though. The TLC star just posted a carousel of pictures on Instagram. Alex and Allie posed together to show how close they are. The latter wore a bright blue outfit and smiled for the camera. She and her lover posed together while he wore a blue t-shirt and shorts. Alex also sent Allie and Emma a picture. They were having a party with a lot of friends to celebrate their happiness. He said, "Congratulations on your graduation, Allie. I'm incredibly proud of you and all you've done." Fans were shocked to hear about the big milestone for the star of 7 Little Johnstons. In 2024, Alex and Emma finished school. The first person was upset when his girlfriend couldn't go to her senior prom. Fans were thrilled that Alex could be there for Allie's big day. On that big day, they seemed happier together. Alex and Allie also took pictures in front of an arch made of blue and white balloons. Fans are now interested in what the couple is going through in their new life. They are both no longer in school. Because of this, people wanted to know what Alex and Allie's next moves would be. They are waiting to find out if the latter will move to Georgia for her lover. For a long time, she and her partner had been in a long-distance relationship. It would be interesting to see how their lives turn out. Amber and Trent Johnston's daughter dating married man. People who like 7 Little Johnstons have been following the family on social media. Recently, one family member drew fans' attention because it looks like they are in a new relationship. but fans are starting to worry that the story is more difficult than it seems, and some are even hoping that things are being taken out of context. People have known the Johnston family since the TLC show 7 Little Johnstons started in 2015. The show is about a family of 7, all of whom are dwarfs. Parents Amber and Trent were in charge of the family at the start of the show. Jonah, Elizabeth, Anna, Alex, and Emma are their 5 kids. Fans have recently seen Anna's problems with her family on the show, and there are whispers that she might leave the show or perhaps receive her own spin-off. Also, fans have been keeping up with the singer on social media. Fans have especially observed that Anna has been with someone else during recent live streams, even kissing them. Followers have been posting pictures and videos of this new guy in her life since then. Some followers have called him her boyfriend. Some admirers, on the other hand, have been asking inquiries about the relationship. "So Anna is dating a guy who is still married?" inquired a fan on social media not so long ago. And the husband just filed for divorce on August 5th. So, did Anna know that the guy was cheating on his wife with her? She said, "He's a friend of the family." Another admirer said, "The wife actually filed for divorce on August 7th. She filed, which makes me assume even more that he was cheating." But some other fans said that things might be more convoluted than fans think. One admirer said they could have been separated for a while and never gotten around to filing. Some admirers said they hoped this was what occurred, as another fan said, "That makes sense. Let's hope that's true." Fans wrote on their different views to the article in the comments. Some people hoped things were more complicated than they looked. Some people didn't like Anna's new boyfriend since they thought he was too old for her. Some people even asked why Anna was disclosing stuff on the live. Some fans have talked about the family as a whole. Some people said they might have been apart for a while. In other places, you have to be apart for a particular amount of time before you may file. The guy is 43 years old, and I think his wife filed for divorce after seeing him and Anna together online last week. She said they had been together for 8 months, so I don't know. I'm not going to turn on Anna. We don't know the whole story, but she might be mistaken. She also has a lot of trauma that she still needs to deal with and heal from, which could affect her dating choices. Friend of the family. Maybe that's why the family is so angry with her. As I've said before, Anna has been a part of this circus just as much as her family has, no matter how they treat her. She could have been graceful and stayed out of the public glare, letting everyone think it was all her parents' fault. Fans blast Alex for ruining Emma's special moment. Based on the most recent 7 Little Johnston scenes, commenters recently made fun of Alex Johnston for disrupting Emma's precious moment. What happened in the TLC scenes, and what do people think about it? A lot of things have happened with this TLC family and in the scenes of 7 Little Johnstons season 15. The most interesting thing that has happened in recent scenes is when Liz Johnston and Bryce Bolden brought baby Leighton home. There has also been a lot of family turmoil between Anna Johnston and the rest of her TLC relatives. But TLC tried to lighten things up a bit by showing Alex Johnston and Emma Johnston going to prom in recent scenes. This is typically a reprieve from all the drama and tension, and it's a wonderful way to change things up. Fans of 7 Little Johnstons saw in recent TLC scenes that the going to the prom part started off well. Emma showed off her date in scenes, and Alex even got suited up and ready for the big night. Everything seemed to be going well until the DJ played the song for the slow dance. Allie Smith, Alex's girlfriend, didn't go to the prom. Fans of 7 Little Johnstons know that these two have been in a long-distance romance, which is common when little people meet each other. A lot of little people had to deal with this, and it affected Alex very hard because he started crying on the dance floor. A lot of TLC fans can understand why Alex is sad over Allie, but most of the 7 Little Johnstons fans who just made fun of him think he ruined Emma's moment. Alex was basically crying right next to Emma when she was attempting to enjoy the slow dance with her partner. A lot of people think he wrecked her personal moment on this big night. One user said, "I'm sorry if this was posted, but Alex ruined Emma's moment completely." It was quite strange to cry next to her. He could have cried in his seat or in the bathroom, but right next to her while she was dancing, that wasn't right for her. And then join her in the slow dance? Poor Emma. Another commenter joined in and said, "That was the scariest thing I ever saw." People who are single usually go to the punch bowl during a slow dance. He was almost breathing down Emma's neck all night. even before she started crying. I see that you're unhappy, but didn't he go to prom with his girlfriend? Get a grip, man. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.